Live from Interbay Stadium in the Emerald City, it's the 2024 GNAC Women's Soccer Championships semifinal number 2 here on a dry or semi-dry Thursday evening. Light rain starting to fall here, and we are ready for action in our second game of the night. For GNACsports.com, Evan O'Kelly with you to bring a number 2 seed versus number 3 seed matchup. It's the hosts Seattle Pacific taking on Simon Fraser, two teams that were not separated in the GNAC standings in the regular season. They tied for second place, and it should be a tight match here tonight. Seattle Pacific defeated Simon Fraser 3-2 the first time the teams met, and just a week ago they battled to a 1-1 draw. The 3-2 win for Seattle Pacific came on October 17th on this field. It was a comeback win at Interbay Stadium. And the tie, which was 0-0, was at Terry Fox Field on November 9th, so just under a week ago to close out the regular season. Just moments away from the introduction of the starting lineups, Seattle Pacific enters the match 9-2-7 overall. They went 7-1-6 in conference play. And as we mentioned, 27 points that tied them for second place. Simon Fraser, meanwhile, 12-3-3 overall, 27 points in conference play to match the Falcons and Seattle Pacific with that win in the regular season, earning the number 2 seed, which as of now is purely academic. In our first semifinal tonight, it was the top-seeded Western Washington Vikings who overcame a 1-0 deficit and knocked off Western Oregon 3-1. So the Vikings will sit back and watch this match and find out who they'll play on Saturday afternoon for the 2024 GNAC Women's Soccer Championships title. It'll either be a rematch of last year's title game if Simon Fraser moves through, or it'll be another GNAC Classic with Seattle Pacific facing the Vikings. For the Falcons, they're led by R.B. Busey. He's now in his 10th season in charge, started in 2015. He's 109 wins against just 45 losses and 24 draws in the mix for a .680 winning percentage. That record includes a mark of 71, 22, and 19 in conference play, a .719 winning percentage. The Falcons, looking for their 18th NCAA tournament appearance, of course going last year in a huge stretch every single year from 2003 through 2016. They've led the league in those appearances, a couple of regional titles, and of course in 2008 a national title delivered by the Seattle Pacific Falcons. First things first, though, this weekend they'll go after their 4th GNAC tournament title, the last one coming in 2021 after they won back-to-back penalty kick shootouts to claim the 2013 and 2014 tournament titles. We're going to get to see the GNAC Co-Players of the Year in this match, a couple of teams that played to a scoreless draw a week ago. All kinds of exciting storylines unfolding as these teams take the pitch. Real quick for Simon Fraser, they're led by Carlo Basso, the former All-American men's player at his alma mater. He's in just his second season after a memorable delivery of Simon's first ever GNAC trophy last year, the 2-1 win over Western Washington in the championship tournament to seal their first ever NCAA berth. And Simon Fraser has played as well as ever this year. They're looking to do it all over again. We'll start with the Red Leaf starters. In goal, it's the first team All-GNAC selection, Sarah Lowen. She will play behind the back line. Defensively, Katie Richardson's in there, along with the GNAC Defensive Player of the Year, Emily Smith, Elise Beaudry, and Kate Smith, the others on the back line. The Smith sisters, that is Emily and Kate. That is notable. Alyssa Clark plays in the midfield along with the second team All-GNAC pick, Kate Cartier, wearing the captain's armband, and of course the GNAC Co-Player of the Year, Isabella Muzzolini, in the midfield as well. Up top, You'll get a look at Michaela Tupper and Kira Scott and the GNAC Freshman of the Year, Dariela Lopez, who in less than 600 minutes on the pitch this fall found the back of the net 6 times. She will be a focal point tonight. Simon Fraser with a versatile offense, and they will stack up against this lineup from Seattle Pacific. In goal, Mercedes Cullen, the all-conference selection. Defensively, it's Catherine Yone, Landry McCann, Ella Smith, and Kaililani Ahuna. And in the midfield, playing right in front of that back line, is the first-team All-League selection, Lauren Snedeker, along with the second-team pick, Ashlyn Valdivinos, and Maya Parman as well. Up top for the Falcons, you got to keep your eye always on Kayla Wallace, who has a hat trick to her name this season, and Moira McKay as well in there at the starting forward position. But most of all, it'll be Taylor Kruger, the GNAC Co-Player of the Year, one of the most dangerous players in the conference, that will draw the attention of Simon Fraser's back line. So you'll have the GNAC Player of the Year, Co-Player of the Year, Kruger on one side, going against the Defensive Player of the Year on the other in Emily Smith. And you got the other Co-Player of the Year, Muzzolini, as well as the Freshman of the Year, Lopez, for the Red Leafs. Just about 4 minutes away from action, and this should be a good one. We're excited you're with us here on the GNAC YouTube channel. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, kickoff coming up. Just about ready to kick this one off. It'll be Simon Fraser in the all-red kits, going from right to left, and Seattle Pacific in its home whites. Ready to get the second semifinal underway from Interbay. The hometown freshman, Dariela Lopez. And off we go. Nothing to separate these two teams a week ago on Burnaby Mountain. A couple of very different matches between these two this year. At least different in terms of the score line. 3-2 with 4 goals being scored in the first half, the first time they met, as the offside flag up on an early Taylor Kruger run. And then nothing to separate them. No goals the second time they meet. In spite of the glaring difference in statistics, talking with Seattle Pacific head coach R.B. Busey last night before their training session, he said it wasn't too different between the two matches. Scoreline was, but materially, they both like to hold the soccer ball in play. RB's words, they play just like us, and that's what makes it so fun to play against Simon Fraser. Here's an early run. Moira McKay looking for runners. Snedeker on frame, and an early save required of Sarah Lowen. Wide open at the top of the box, Lauren Snedeker. Good strike. And an early signal from the Falcons on their home pitch. Kat Yone working on the back line. The back line that Busey said has been so consistent for them. Falcons working it forward. Valdivinos tried to play it over the back line. Emily Smith with the header. Simon trying to get clearance. Kira Scott finally able to give her team a breather. So Seattle Pacific on the front foot from the opening whistle. A chance early, and it was a good one. Ella Smith couldn't quite keep that one in play. Now Mazzolini working on Snedeker, a couple of first-team all-league picks there. Elise Beaudry, a newcomer this year for Simon Fraser, who's been a crucial part of their team. Playing on the back line with the Smith sisters and Katie Richardson. Here's Dariela Lopez. Her first touch after the opening kickoff, a through ball from Mazzolini. Just a little bit too strong, trying to find the foot of Michaela Tupper. Tupper scoring last year in this tournament. Kate Cartier wins possession, fires a low cross into the box. Falcons patiently possessing in their defensive corner. Cartier again towards goal, and Cullen able to handle it. These teams met in the semifinal round last year. It was Simon Fraser, a 4-2 win over Seattle Pacific. Kind of put its foot on the gas early, did Simon, and didn't look back. The scoreline read 4-1 until SPU got a late second goal, but by then it was too late. Looking to turn the tides this year. Tupper. Cartier trying to get her left foot to it, forcing the clearance from Seattle Pacific. Snedeker had the shot on target, 3 goals this season, playing primarily in a defensive midfield position, but ever dangerous. Now Mazzolini playing back to Clark, and it's Kruger who takes her off the ball. The 2 co-players of the year have their first coming together of the night. Mazzolini able to deflect it off Kruger. Kruger with the 6 goals and 7 assists. Mazzolini the 6 goals and 5 assists. Equally impressive stat lines for the 2, and in the coach's eyes, nothing to separate them as the league's top player. Deflected out for a Falcon. I'll check that, a red leaf throw in. Kayla Wallace trying to sell that one a bit, but it's in the hands of the captain, Katie Richardson. Richie, they call her. Red Leafs working it up the right flank. Beaudry, lots of room in front of her. Likes to go outside. Tupper looking for space. Shoots it with her left foot. Nothing to trouble Cullen. I asked R.B. Busey what stands out about Mercedes Cullen, and he said he's never seen somebody who prepares so well, and that's what has led to her success. The preparation and goal, and she's such a big part of this Falcon defense. A couple of early comfortable touches for Cullen in this one, dealing with an earlier cross from Cartier and that shot from Tupper. No sting in it from the top of the box. Mazzolini wins possession, looking for help, and takes it herself. Step by Emily Smith. Or check that. Out of play by the Falcons. There's Lopez, who stood up, but trying to muscle her way back onto the ball, nearly does so. Just the 5th start of the year for Dariela Lopez, who's from Burnaby, where the Simon Fraser campus is located in British Columbia. Just 5 starts, but the numbers simply don't lie. Averaging a goal every 92 minutes, essentially a goal per match played, 6 of them on the year with 4 assists in just 553 minutes of game action on the field. And Carlo Basso saying, based on the numbers she's got to start tonight. Cartier looking for Kira Scott on the diagonal, but intercepted well there by the Falcons. Now Valdivinos playing over the back line, and Lowen will come out of her box to clear it. Lowen plays a very confident high line in her goal box, certainly not afraid to come out. Now Muzzolini doing some defending and commits a foul down in the corner. So a free kick here for the Falcons. For all intents and purposes, similar to a corner kick coming up for SPU. Kruger, who is slow to get up, looks to be just fine, but caught the brunt of it from Muzzolini there. Now a big set piece chance for SPU. Service is a good one, but cleared out by the SFU back line. Tupper with a little room, but a tricky ball to work with. Falcons have numbers back, though. And they clear the line well. Yone handling that on the left side for SPU. Kate Smith taps it back to Lowen. And it's out for a Falcon throw-in. Cartier is dragged down on the far side by Kruger. Wide open match so far. SPU with the only real troubling chance in the first 13 minutes. But movement in the attacking third for both teams. It was a back and forth affair in the match that wound up 3-2 in favor of Seattle Pacific. The Falcons struck first in the 12th minute, and then SFU scored twice, including a goal with 53 seconds before halftime that put them ahead 2-1. The Falcons, however, responded with 7 seconds before halftime, finding a late equalizer. That came off the foot of Nora Patterson, who then, in the 79th minute, scored a long goal over the head of Lowen to give the Falcons 3 points in the standings. Again, that was on October 17th. Falcons with the slight edge. Through ball now. Moira McKay on her left foot, but instead crosses it. Scott looking to go forward, but being closed down by Snedeker, who wins the throw-in. Parman will rip it right at Lowen. Not much of an angle for Maya Parman to work with there, but a good strong shot. Parman making her 19th start of the year. 3 goals on the season, a couple assists. Not afraid to cut loose. Wallace and Snedeker connect. Kruger nudged by Beaudry. And the long ball by Yone, dealt with by Kate Smith, younger of the Smith sisters. Teamed up on last year's back line, along with Katie Richardson, that delivered the GNAC title. Kruger, good turn. Now she's off towards the box. Shot smothered. And another one deflected out for a corner kick. Falcons turning it up a notch here. Valdivinos let it fly from the upper corner. And now Maya Parman will provide the service from the corner. Low cross headed down. And Snedeker couldn't quite get her foot around the shot, but it'll be another one for the Falcons. Ashlyn Valdivinos will take this one. Second team all GNAC pick, has started every match. 3 goals and 3 assists for Valdivinos. She'll be looking for the ladder here. Back post punched by Lowen. And it really had to be dangerous cross there. Dealt with well by the league's top goalkeeper, at least in the opinion of the coaches, voted her first team. Here's another one, and it's off the crossbar. So Seattle Pacific, aggressive, dangerous service into the box early. Asking a lot of questions of the SFU backline and goalkeeper. 2 saves already for Lowen, and then the punch, which will not go on the stat sheet, but counts just as much as a save. Beaudry to Tupper. Cartier wins back possession in the midfield and looks to go direct to Kira Scott. Controlled by Ella Smith. Some fans of the Red Leafs. Half-hearted jest for a handball call, but nothing in it. Landry McCann working it up the right side now for the Falcons. Won by Katie Richardson. Lopez misses the touch, and Snedeker looking to go the other way now for the Falcons. Kruger on Beaudry. Tries to take her on with speed and gets past her. Here's Taylor Kruger, GNAC Co-Player of the Year. The low cross. There's Katie Richardson. Simon Fraser trying to possess out of trouble, but a little bit of miscommunication there. Another Falcon throw-in. Kruger from the ground keeps it for her team. Still looking to go forward as SPU. Scott now driving forward. Through ball. It's Lopez. Can't quite get to it. It's better from Simon, and now Their first corner kick try. It'll be Kate Cartier, a senior from Kelowna, BC. Heart and soul of the team in the midfield. Far to the back post. It was Ella Smith, the first to get her head on it, and Simon will try again from the opposite corner. Alyssa Clark jogging over, as is Cartier. Clark with the ball in her left foot. Cartier poses the close option. Clark will send it into the box. Header, and it's in! Simon Fraser with the set-piece strike. And against the run of play, they've got the early lead. It's Kira Scott with plenty of room at the near post, tucking the header inside the far post, and it's 1-0 SFU. Seattle Pacific looked to be the more dangerous team the first 20 minutes, but it's Simon Fraser with the lead. Looked like a good job of the Red Leafs on their runs on that corner kick, because Kira Scott found herself wide open at the near post, an uncontested header. And give the number 9 credit for getting it on frame. You absolutely have to when you have that kind of chance, and she did not miss. For Scott, that's goal number 5 on the season. And she's got SFU in front. We'll see how the home team responds here. Now finding themselves trailing. Mazzolini and Beaudry going back and forth. And Scott can't get to it. Well, semifinal number 1, we saw the Vikings go down 1-0 in the 20th minute after they started strong. Now Simon Fraser finds itself ahead 1-0 after a strong start by SPU. High arcing cross that'll carry over the goal frame. And we'll have our first substitution of the night for the Falcons. Andy Buckley comes into the midfield attacking area for the Falcons. Buckley has appeared in all 19 matches, this one included. 3 goals and an assist on the season, so some fresh legs in the attack for Seattle Pacific here as they now search for an equalizer. Cartier had room out wide to Katie Richardson. Tried to do it herself, but ran into Maya Parman. And Moira McKay was there to help her out. Snedeker. Kayla Wallace will go out wide. Catherine Yone out there, guarded by Michaela Tupper. And Beaudry plays it out. Buckley, fresh into the game, will play it out wide to Ella Smith. Back to the center, and a one-touch from Andy Buckley. Never quite had her eyes on the target. Still a good effort, just a little wide. Probably the best she could have done in a one-time try from that position. And Simon will make its first change of the evening. Tupper will give way to Caden Sherwood. Carlo Basso talking about how versatile his attack is, and one of the biggest problems he has as a coach, well, it's a good one, trying to balance the rotation of players up top. We already talked about Ariella Lopez's production in her limited minutes, but Caden Sherwood up there as well. Michaela Tupper, who just came off, and we haven't even seen yet the likes of Reagan McKenzie, last year's GNAC Championships MVP, who scored the winning goal. Sarah Caravata as well, 4 goals on the season. The list goes on for Simon. In terms of its goal scorers this season, Sherwood, who's fresh onto the match, she's got 3 goals and a couple of assists as well. Simon leading the GNAC with 36 goals, and make that 37 with Kira Scott's finish across its 19 matches this fall. So a tick under 2 goals per match for SFU. So the Falcons now trying to deal with the deficit. I don't know that they need to change anything strategy-wise. They looked the better side the first 20 minutes, had the more dangerous chances. Really putting the pressure on Simon's back line. Now a turn. And a strong shot blocked at the top of the box. Kruger, she can score from there. Snedeker, are they onside? If they are, it could be a big chance, but the flag up. Oh, boy. Well done by Simon's back line there to step forward. It was Moira McKay and Maya Parman with room in the box, but caught offside that time. Subs now for both sides as we inch towards the halftime break. Scott, the goal scorer, will get a round of applause as she exits along with Ariella Lopez. Reagan McKenzie on for Simon Fraser along with Sarah Caravata, the other 2 forwards. Nora Patterson checks in for Seattle Pacific. Another dangerous scoring threat up top. Kruger thought she had won a corner, but nothing more than a goal kick. Patterson, 4 goals in 16 matches, including 2 the first time these teams met. Also in for SPU is the freshman, Jen Mary. She'll slot into the left back spot, and Catherine Yone will move over to the right side on the back line for the Falcons. Mary has been very productive in her debut collegiate season, playing in all 19 matches, so valuable minutes for the freshman, and she finds herself with Elise Baudry on her right here. Falcons clear it. Mussolini's there. Bothered by Buckley, but then will work it back to the GNAC Defensive Player of the Year, Emily Smith. Sherwood, strength on the ball to win it. Reagan McKenzie. And Cartier works it back. Better movement here from SFU, their best cohesion of the night on that recent spell. And they've got a throw in towards the attacking third. Under 15 minutes to go before halftime. 1-0, Simon Fraser in front. Kenzie looking for a way out. Now she's got it, working with Caden Sherwood. Mussolini, the senior, on the freshman, Jen Mary. Cuts it back towards the box. Falcons able to defend, and now Kruger's got it, looking the other way. Simon has numbers back, but Kruger showing off the speed. Kate Cartier trying to keep up with her. Full sprint and a slide, and it's a goal kick. Expertly handled by Kate Cartier. Closing down Kruger and winning the goal kick for SFU. She'll have a little bit of turf burn to deal with after that, but well worth it to deny a Seattle Pacific chance. Now here come the Red Leafs. Mary, size disadvantage against Sarah Caravata, but her quickness wins that battle. Simon using the full width of the pitch. They favored that right flank for many of their restarts from the back. And a good ball there from Mary, slotting it over to Buckley. Flicked on, now a chance. And Lowen will clear it. Ooh, Buckley maybe had a look at going direct towards goal there. Instead, she was looking for Kruger on the flank. Either way, good opportunity for Seattle Pacific to make something of this possession here. Kruger with some space. Baudry trying to close her. And the right-footed shot high. In the first semifinal, we saw Western Washington strike right before halftime on a set piece to sway momentum. And then it was bang, bang right after halftime. 2 goals in the first 7 minutes of the second half. And that was enough to oust 4th-seeded Western Oregon for the second straight year in the semifinals. It was those two teams in the semis last year, and it was these two teams in the other semi in 2023. Simon hopes the script goes the same way this year. Make it to the title game and win. That's how it went down in 23, but here's a dangerous chance for the Falcons. Patterson was looking to play it through to McKay. Check that, make that Maya Parman, who was on the run up front. Smith will dribble right down the middle. Possession fairly even between these sides. Seattle Pacific had it early on and was creating the chances. Simon swaying momentum with the goal. Parman elects to go back to Ahuna. Now a switch of the field for the Falcons. Patterson. It's a little bit behind Yone. And Landry McCann, a nice job of keeping possession and not clearing that one. Falcons trying to work it the other way. Kruger. Richardson. Patterson's on. No, the flag's up. Second offside to go against Seattle Pacific this half. Lowen looking for Richardson, but it's out for an SPU throw-in. Falcons will make two more changes here. McCann and Parman will exit. Taylor Height comes on along with Sophie Hane. Height, the junior from Fountain Valley, California, and Hane, the freshman from right here in Seattle. We'll get some minutes here to close out the first half. Ahuna taking it in stride. Now Buckley. Kayla Wallace cuts back towards the middle. Caden Sherwood there to intercept. There's Abby Simpson on the far side for the throw, and she's onto the pitch now for SFU. As Kate Cartier works on a knot for her shoelaces with ice-cold fingers. Caravata. Trying to turn Jen Mary in the corner. The cross is low, deflected, and into the hands of Cullen. Nervy moment there for the Falcons. Yone went back to clear. Cullen came off her line. For a moment, it hung in the balance, but secured by Mercedes in the end. There's Cartier with the left foot to win possession. And that ball carried out of play. Another sub for the Falcons, as Kruger will get the final 6 minutes of the half off. Catch your breath. Jess Lizotte is the Falcon who checked in, making her 18th appearance of the year. She's a freshman from Yakima. So RB Busey making the most of his roster, getting everybody incorporated this year. Lots of valuable minutes, and these are the matches where it shows up. All these freshmen who've not necessarily started, but played in every match, gotten minutes. Now their number is called here in a GNAC Championships tournament. You've already seen Jen Mary not playing like a freshman out there on defense. Cross, and Lowen holds it. That one came from Nora Patterson in the corner. Yone and Snedeker trying to work through the pressure in tight quarters. Simon wins the throw in. Good touch from Abby Simpson. Kayla Wallace back through the middle. Alyssa Clark trying to chase it down, and she gets it back to her captain, Richardson. Simon trying to keep control over the final 4 minutes here. Long searching ball over the top by Kate Smith. Sherwood had her shot blocked. It was the freshman, Sophie Hene. Would have been a trying attempt there from Sherwood, but her defender not even letting it anywhere near Cullen. Muzzolini now. And it's cleared out by Ahuna. Red Leafs winning another corner kick. Last one they had ended up in the back of the net. The header goal by Kira Scott. That one was from the right side of the pitch. This one will come from Kate Cartier on the left. Right at the 6, headed down. Kate Smith maybe had a chance at a loose ball, but the Falcons able to cope with it. So same scenario, Alyssa Clark to take it. The only difference is no Kira Scott on the pitch. Instead, it's the likes of Sarah Caravata, Caden Sherwood, and Reagan McKenzie who are the bodies towards the 6-yard box. The Smiths in there as well with Muzzolini. The cross headed straight up in the air, and then Caravata well wide with the header. Sigh of relief for the Falcons. Got just under 90 seconds to try and make something happen here in the first half. Simon, you would think, would be content to try to possess for the final minute here and get to the locker rooms to warm up and dry off a little bit. Rain has subsided for the most part, just trickling down a slight bit here. And Simon was looking for the offside flag early on to get him out of that situation, and as soon as Seattle Pacific appeared to win the throw-in, sure enough, the offside flag goes up. Bit of a miss hit there from Kate Smith, but SFU still able to clear it away. Ten seconds. Falcons need to hurry if there's one more chance in this one. Here's the cross towards the center. Buckley can't make contact. And the final try by Patterson knocked away, and Lowen at the whistle leaps up to confidently collect it. So 45 minutes gone. Simon Fraser with the Kira Scott header goal off the set piece leads it over Seattle Pacific 1-0. We'll take a break and be back with some first half analysis in just a little bit. Halftime here at Interbay Stadium. It's Simon Fraser 1, Seattle Pacific nothing after 45 minutes. Kira Scott with her 5th goal of the season. It came in the 21st minute, direct off a corner kick from Alyssa Clark. Scott getting open at the near post, just about 6 yards out, and tucking a header inside the far corner to put her team ahead. That's been the difference. 6 shots for Seattle Pacific, many of those coming early on in the match, including an on-target try by Lauren Snedeker in the first 5 minutes that in many ways is the best chance, at least on frame, of the half for Seattle Pacific. In total, there were 3 saves by SFU goalkeeper Sarah Lowen. Add an important punch on a dangerous cross to that list, and she did well for herself and did well to keep Seattle Pacific out of the back of the net in the opening 45 minutes. 4 shots for the Red Leafs, just 2 on goal. It was Scott's goal as well as 1 try by Michaela Tupper that landed on frame but was handled by Mercedes Cullen. An open game. Neither team dominating in possession. Both teams spreading the field well, creating opportunities down the flanks, and it's been an entertaining match to watch. 4 corner kicks for the Red Leafs, 3 for the Falcons, and the set piece try from the right corner led to the SFU goal to start things off. What's at stake for these teams? Well, they're trying to get to Saturday's championship match, which will be against number 1 seed Western Washington, the Vikings defeating Western Oregon 3-1 in our first semifinal match a couple of hours ago. Seattle Pacific has hopes of its 4th GNAC Championships tournament trophy. Winners in 2013, 2014, and again in 2021. Simon Fraser trying to go back and back-to-back. Claimed its first crown last year. SFU, of course, joining the NCAA and the Great Northwest Athletic Conference ahead of the 2010 fall season. So it's been 14 years of Division II soccer for the Red Leafs, and they got their first NCAA tournament berth last season with the tournament title win. The champion of this tournament, the winner on Saturday, earns the conference's automatic berth into the NCAA West Region playoffs. The only team in the league that truly feels safe to get an at-large berth would be Western Washington. On the heels of its 15-game unbeaten streak, the Vikings were ranked 6th in the latest regional rankings. Top 7 get in. So after the win over Western Oregon in the tournament, even if the Vikings come up short on Saturday, you would think they'd still have a chance in that large, and the conference could get 2 teams in, although last year it simply wasn't enough. Western Washington was in a similar position, came up short in the title game, and was ousted from the regional. So that match Saturday of utmost importance to the Vikings, who are now sitting back and taking notes on who their opponent will be. Simon Fraser with the advantage. Slimmest of margins, though. It's 1-0. The officiating crew making its way back towards the center of the pitch as the final minute of halftime ticks off the clock. So an off day tomorrow. The 2 teams victorious today will practice. And then Saturday, we'll be back on the air with you for a 1 p.m. kickoff here at Interbay Stadium to decide this year's title. It's been a very light but steady rainfall throughout the duration of this game. It continues to come down. Hardly more than a drizzle, but a steady one at that. And you can see the players visibly a little bit chilly out there. A lot of jumping up and down, running in place, trying to keep the legs warm. I suspect once the opening whistle of the second half goes, those on the pitch will forget all about the temperature, but worth mentioning that it's cold and wet out there. Falcons will have the kickoff. They're on the pitch ready to go. Kruger standing over the ball as Simon, as time expires, races back out from its team huddle. Final 45 minutes of GNAC semifinal number 2. And Taylor Kruger sends us off. There's Dariela Lopez, who was subbed off midway through the first half, back out there to start the second. Good searching wide ball. Katie Richardson with some room to work. Back over to Michaela Tupper. Now Beaudry with plenty of space. The cross to the center. Lopez takes a swing and misses. Cartier towards the top of the box. Back to Kate. Turns. Right foot. Shot blocked. Right from the get-go, Simon Fraser's on top of it. Pinging the ball back and forth across the pitch. Alyssa Clark. And Ella Smith will play it clear. Winds up on the foot of Maya Parman. The Falcons work back, solve the puzzle, and keep possession. Good one-touch play there by SPU to alleviate the pressure. Snedeker across the middle. Just a touch behind Yone there, but the Falcons able to press forward. Valdivinos outside to Kruger. Kruger streaking towards the box. Low cross, it's dangerous, but Simon able to step and clear it. Richardson got through a couple of defenders on the wet turf. And Ahuna was shoved a bit by Dariela Lopez for a Falcon free kick. Landry McCann looking to go direct. Buckley playing it through. Moira McKay on the ball in the box. Back to Buckley. Cartier prevents a shot attempt. Falcons win it back across the middle. Snedeker looking for an outlet. McKay just gets there in time to keep it in bounds. The cross. Middle of the box. And a shot attempt there stifled. So SPU responds to Simon Fraser's hot start by creating a couple chances in the offensive third. Valdivinos head up. Beaudry across the middle, dangerous spot for that one, and Snedeker intercepts. Now Kruger on the ball. SPU works it back around. McCann was chased by Muzzolini, causing a quick pass, and now Simon's on the run. To the middle, Lopez couldn't keep possession. Beaudry shielding Kruger to win the throw-in. Alyssa Clark in the right spot in the midfield as Simon looks for space on the left side. Richardson will push forward. Too hot to handle for the goal scorer, Kira Scott. One touch and through from Valdivinos, but Kate Smith stepping forward to send it back into the attacking third for the women in red. SPU very patiently gaining some more possession. Trying to build its attack from the back. But Simon with the throw. Lopez was looking towards the middle there. Found the foot of the Falcons. Now Kruger on the counter. Plays through, and there's Lowen with the high line to send it back past midfield. Snedeker plays out wide to Ella Smith, who's met by Muzzolini. Lopez does enough to keep it for a moment, but Yone wins the ball. Now Kruger, one-on-one with Emily Smith, and doesn't waste any time. Long shot with the left foot, easily smothered by Sarah Lowen. As this match progresses deeper and deeper, what better matchup individually could you ask for than GNAC Defensive Player of the Year Emily Smith on GNAC Player of the Year, Co-Player of the Year, I should say, Taylor Kruger. That's going to be a good one. Saw the first hint of it there on Kruger's shot. Is this one through, and Lowen has to come get it. The Falcons have been knocking all night. Looking dangerous. Can they find that final connecting pass and land a strike on target? Tupper looks for Lopez, and Cullen does well to come just outside of her box and deal with the threat. 10 minutes into the second half, Simon holding on to a 1-0 advantage. Falcons looking to play out of it. Kruger prevented from being released into the corner by Emily Smith. Elise Baudry with another throw-in for SFU. Played off the ball, and Kruger wins a throw-in. The Falcons anxious to get forward now, trying to get some steam going in front of them. Yone in towards the box again. Kate Smith that time. And Clark plays it clear. All the way back to Lowen, and the Red Leafs recycle it towards the left side now. Lowen looking towards the sideline, and it's out of play for a Falcon throw-in. Good pressure there by SPU. Kruger was approaching Lowen, made her play it into a tight spot. They win the throw-in. You can clearly see Simon Fraser trying to slow down the pace of the game, kind of take the sting out of it a little bit, try and disrupt the Falcons from being able to string passes together. Just trying to bring the pace down. Dangerous ball up the middle, but Clark has it rattle around her shin guards and keeps it. Now Emily Smith looks to go over the top. McCann shields and goes back to Mercedes Cullen. Simon Fraser now trying to put SPU under a little bit of pressure, but Andy Buckley, an expert job of winning that ball, and Kate Cartier does the same, working back for SFU. Owen's got Katie Richardson outside. Touch a bit heavy, and Maya Parman wins it. Now the Falcons back towards the center of the pitch. Mazzolini trying to break free. Can't do so. Here's Kayla Wallace checking back in. Ashlyn Valdivinos will get a breather. Wallace a hat trick in just the second game of the year for SPU. She's a threat offensively. Mazzolini trying to hold it up. Now Kira Scott to Dariela Lopez and back to her in the corner. Here's the cross. Tupper has Cartier out wide, gets it to her on Kate's right foot. In the box, the cross across the 6 and handled by SPU. Nice job by Kailani Ahuna there. An important intervention. Cartier sort of feigning a shot, taking a touch, always looking for a runner at the 6-yard box. That was a dangerous look for SFU. Here's Dariela Lopez again. Dispossessed nicely by Ahuna in the midfield. Mazzolini takes it right back. Over the top. Can Kira Scott run onto it? It's Landry McCann who just gets her right boot to it. Physical play, but no foul. Good job by Kayla Wallace. Lopez was sort of just waiting for that ball to fall to her, and Kayla Wallace did something about it. Got to it first. Lowen now will have to clear. A little bit of space opening up in the center of the pitch for the Falcons now. Here's Buckley. Parman. Out wide for Ella Smith. Sends the cross in, and Parman to the back post. Ball stayed in for Kruger. Yone looks towards goal. It's on frame. And Sarah Lowen covers it. No fear there from Kat Yone from about 35 yards out. Sent it in there with some good force, but Lowen gobbled it up. 5 saves now for the SFU goalkeeper. Buckley. Redleaf's bringing it back into play. Now looking forward is Elise Baudry. Lopez a one-touch try, and Yone there to handle it. SFU content to play it back around to Lowen and look to switch the other way. Now some room for Moira McKay. Low cross. Kruger coming together in the box. And the whistle goes. Kruger may have caught it with her hand while she was on the ground. Dangerous spot there for the GNAC Co-Player of the Year. Seattle Pacific continuing to keep the heat on. It's a good run down the side by McKay and a good cross. Keeps it low. Tricky on a wet night like this with the slick turf. Hard to deal with. Kruger just didn't quite get the timing right that time, but it's in the neighborhood for SPU. Now Cartier's beat and concedes the foul. Good spot for a set piece if you're the Falcons. Lauren Snedeker on the ball. SPU rather been flagged for offside 3 times tonight. We'll see if the Simon Fraser back line tries to step here again. Instead, the Falcons play short. Yone fires it on frame or just off. Powerful curling strike from Yone. Lowen always had it covered and confidently dodged it as she knew it was going wide of the post. But another good look for the Falcons. Caden Sherwood on now, replacing Kira Scott for the Red Leafs in the attack. Great turn from Baudry there. Now plays Tupper into space down the line. Foot race with Yone. Tupper. 1-on-1, left foot to the back post, nobody there. Expert stuff from Elise Baudry. The quick turn, perfectly weighted ball down the line. Just didn't quite have the legs, the SFU forwards, to get to the back post. So the freshman, Dariela Lopez, heads to the bench to get a breather, and Reagan McKenzie, who knows a thing or two about late goals in this tournament, back up front. Mazzolini to the ground, and quickly, the center referee saying nothing in that. It's been a well-officiated game. A lot of contact and physical play, but all of it clean and within the rules. That's what you expect when you get the top teams in the league together. It's confident players, hard-nosed defending, physical tackles. That's what makes these teams so good. Now the Falcons looking to build from square one. Cullen working it around. And Yone wins the throw-in. Clark and Buckley going at it in the midfield. Falcons work it back again. Ahuna and Snedeker. McCann looking to go over the SFU back line. Emily Smith puts it in a place where only Katie Richardson can get to it. And the ball deflected off of Taylor Kruger for a red leaf throw-in. Chance for a cross here. It's over the head of Moira McKay. McKay winning it back. Sliding deflection from Kate Cartier. Some space now. There goes Caden Sherwood. McKenzie trying to stay onside. Timing just off between them. I don't know that McKenzie held back enough anyway, had it gone through to her. But Simon, a good chance there on the counterattack, looking to keep possession. Now Kruger with the long ball. Low and calmly out left to Kate Smith. Falcons just trying to find some possession here, and now they've got it with Ahuna. Can be frustrating when a team tries to slow things down and keep possession, as Simon is doing, but you got to keep your head down and keep creating chances. Here's Kayla Wallace. Right foot. A sub each up at the table. Nora Patterson will give Moira McKay a break, and Sarah Caravata comes on to send Michaela Tupper to the bench. Long through ball is handled by Landry McCann on the back line. Great touch from Taylor Kruger. Now Beaudry finds the foot of Reagan McKenzie. Looking for some help, but can't get it to Sarah Caravata. Kailani Ahuna back to McCann. Calmly to Snedeker in tight quarters and out wide to Ella Smith as the Falcons work out of pressure and now build possession into the attack. Wallace looking for a through ball. Buckley over the top. Kruger running on. Beaudry's there and clears it away for a throw-in. Kruger wins the corner. Kruger will take it, sends it to the back post, across the 6. Oh, another nervy moment for Simon, but they're able to clear it just at the end. Mazzolini pressuring Ahuna there. Cullen has to go back to her, and now Simon will look to trap the Falcons back in their defensive third. Four corner kicks apiece for these teams, and Wallace ends up on the floor and ends up winning a free kick for the Falcons. Caden Sherwood cuts it back. Looking for a runner, but dealt with by McCann. Now over the top, trying to use Kruger's speed. But Beaudry never panics. It's a searching through ball that you hope, if you're SPU, for there to be some miscommunication between Emily Smith and Elise Beaudry. If there is any of that and Kruger gets onto it, all bets are off. But you see the calmness on that back line. Smith recognizing it was going to carry through to Beaudry, and the latter simply turning and clearing. Now Cartier to Caravata across the 6. And Cullen comes over to cover it after the ball was settled by Ella Smith. Another through ball, and Kruger's onside. One-on-one now with Beaudry. Top of the box, Kruger looking for space for a shot. Cuts it back. Kruger again. This time she lets it go. Shot was wide. Offside flag was up. Beaudry standing up. Kruger there. Not on that attempt, but the previous one. Cannot let the white 23 have an inch of space. She's lethal from that range. Nicely done that time by Elise Beaudry. Just a little too long there from Kate Smith. Still plenty of time for the Falcons, but just starting to tick down as that match clock, 16:15 to go. Won nicely by SPU. Now Parman can look forward. It's Wallace racing to track it down to the left corner. Yone now serves it back across. And rising to head it clear is the captain, Katie Richardson. Lauren Snedeker. Red Leafs in no hurry to pick up the pace of this one. They've done well to control the flow. It's not that SPU has gone without chances. They've had a number of them, but it's been the pace of the game that Simon has dictated for a good period of the second half. Definitely not the entirety, but what they've done is limited SPU stringing dangerous chances together end after end. Here's another one that's met with the foot of Emily Smith. Snedeker, some room, looking towards the corner, instead plays a square ball. Snedeker again. Now a little bit of room in the corner. The cross carries too high. A couple of more changes. Moira McKay back in. And Kira Scott back on the pitch to replace Caden Sherwood. Certainly time to push forward now for the Falcons. Clark over the top. Offside flag is down. Running onto it. Scott on a goal. Off the post, and she's got a brace. And just like that, Simon Fraser doubles its tally. Not 30 seconds after checking in, Kira Scott finds herself on the end of a streaking run and does just enough to nudge it over Cullen, off the post and in. And now Simon won't breathe a sigh of relief, but will just feel the pressure ease somewhat. The players on the pitch aren't thinking that it's okay to concede a goal, but just the knowledge that one can't tie it. It has to be two now from SPU. Just that edge gives you a little bit of confidence. Micah Carr with a brace for Western Washington to win it in semifinal 1. And Kira Scott for the Red Leafs has found the net twice to make it 2-0. Second brace of Kira's SFU career. The first one coming on October 26th against Northwest Nazarene of this season. Carlo Basso said it pregame. So many different threats, so many different players who can get on the stat sheet. Tonight is Kira Scott's night. Ella Smith, diving save by Lowen. The job's not done yet, and she leaps up to secure the cross. There's your first team all-conference goalkeeper, showing you why. And your GNAC Defensive Player of the Year, Emily Smith, adds an assist to her stat line on the evening. She doesn't get any stats for all the challenges won, but she'll get in there with the helper on Scott's second goal. Cartier out wide, space for Scott. On her right foot on a hat trick. Diving catch and hold by Cohen. Now Muzzolini released down the left side. And a sliding intervention from Landry McCann. Nicely done. But a corner kick for SFU that'll eat up some valuable time. Kate Cartier will line it up. And as the clock bleeds under 10 minutes, the cross is headed over the end line by SFU. Simon will sub here, bringing the clock to a stop. New rule this year in college soccer, when the team that is leading substitutes with 15 minutes or less in the game, the clock automatically stops. The referees also in general instructed to stop the clock with more frequency at their discretion. The coaches directing in their annual meetings that the concept of time wasting when you lead needs to be taken out of the game as much as possible. So that led to the new rule changes this year. When the clock counts down, you can't get any of the time back. That's one of the things that can unintentionally promote time wasting for teams that lead. Here's Scott streaking again in the left corner. Cuts it back. Left foot. Low cross. Abby Simpson into the match. Went over the back of Taylor Kruger that time. Sophia Farimo into the match for the first time as well for SFU as the Red Leafs look to get more defensive and see this one out. Simpson wrestled down there by Maya Parman. Perhaps a bit of frustration beginning to creep in for SPU. Looks so good off the opening whistle to start the match. Blistering shot by Lauren Snedeker 2 minutes into the game. Saved by Lowen. They've had lots of looks, but haven't found the net. 7 saves on the night for Sarah Lowen. The most recent one, the best. Point blank shot, diving knock from the number 24 in gray. Beaudry's been fantastic tonight. Now she finds Kate Cartier with miles of space in the middle. Cullen able to cover that one, no problem. Now the Falcons need to look to be direct. Yone looking forward, but Beaudry's there. Throw in goes to SFU. Snedeker trying to find a way forward. Now some space on the right side. Smith over to the top. Ella Smith, that is, and it's met by one of the Red Smiths, Kate. Good ball by Cartier. Clark. Now Kira Scott. Beaudry can keep her head up here. The Falcons have to clear it away. Over the top and looking for Moira McKay. Able to deflect it from Kate Smith and win possession. Now Parman. McKay needs room for a cross here. Parman, top of the box, left-footed curling strike towards the back post. But it's been that kind of night for SPU. Lowen being urged to get on with it by the center referee. Falcons desperate for at least something. Tupper there. Not challenging. Content to help SFU keep its shape and sit back. They're close. Less than 5 minutes now from a return trip to the championships. A rematch with the Vikings. It went so well for the Red Leafs last year. They've got dreams of running it back. Western Washington looks on. Shirley also eager for a rematch, knowing that the championship result can't have sat well with the Vikings. Desperation time for the Falcons. They must have 2 goals in 4 minutes to keep their season alive. Yone, the fantastic senior, streaking, trying to find something. But Michaela Tupper defends from her forward position and wins the free kick. Well, you can never put a game to bed at halftime and extinguish it for 45 minutes. It's just simply too much time with a 1-goal lead. But Simon achieved what must have been on the mind of Carlo Basso at halftime, which was to make it tough on SPU. Don't let them string chances together. Here's one, but handled by the Defensive Player of the Year, Emily Smith. Scott, tonight's hero, punches it forward. Cartier. Cartier dives in to stifle the cross from Kayla Wallace. Now Caravata looking for Tupper. Yone's going to beat her to it and keep it in play to Cullen. Ahuna out wide to Ella Smith. Alyssa Clark, I should say. Alyssa Clark pushing forward. One more throw in for the Falcons, but less than 90 seconds. Just not materializing tonight for the home team. They'll be disappointed with the result. But Simon Fraser going to get the final push in a series where the Falcons won the opener, the teams drew the second, and in the playoff encounter for the second year in a row, it's going to be the Red Leafs derailing the Falcons. We've got a rematch for the GNAC Women's Soccer Championships title. It'll be Western Washington taking on Simon Fraser, who gives hugs all around after a very sound 2-0 result. It's Kira Scott, not once, but twice, with the head and on a brilliant streaking run. And SFU, the dream of defending last year's tournament crown, lives on. For GNACsports.com, I'm Evan O'Kelly. Thanks so much for being with us, and we can't wait till Saturday. 1 p.m. kickoff here at Interbay Stadium. Top-seeded Vikings, third-seeded Red Leafs, the rematch of last year's title game. You won't want to miss it.